apparently, you know, my husband thinks it's okay to get a Twix bar, but to put my candy bar back, because apparently he says that I need to stay on my diet.
You need to, yeah. Stay away from the candy, okay?
Stay away from the candy. And this is what he tells me in front of this man right here. But see, the thing is he's talking in a low voice, and he yelled it at me. Literally. How embarrassing.
You don't need candy.
How embarrassing. Like I'm a 7-year-old kid yelling, "You don't need candy. You're on a diet." Like, that's not supposed to be embarrassing to me. Because it is.
Good money for your diet stuff. Why would it be buy candy?
So because you're spending good money on stuff, you're spending money, right? Because last I knew you didn't have a job, but so we're spending good money. Yeah, your money's your money, my money's our money, right?
All money is my money.
You really think that's okay to talk to me like that in front of a crowd?
Men with audacity. Guys, in this video, we are going to be saying the audacity of men. How men will do things that they clearly know are diabolical, but they will do it anyway without a care in the world because they are just that audacious. Let me not talk too much in the beginning. Let's get right into it.
Where you been all day?
Work.
Why didn't I drop you off at work? Why didn't you just let me drop you off at work?
Because it's my car and I didn't want you to drop me off at work.
I always drop you off.
Okay, but today I didn't want you to drop me off.
What if I had something to do with anything? Like, you don't care what I got to do.
I wanted to drive my car to work today. And that's just what it is. So
I needed it.
This woman went viral before when her boyfriend showed up an hour and a half or 2 hours late to pick her up from the job after she had let him use her car all day. But here he is trying to make her feel guilty like she's selfish for wanting to drive her own car to her own job. I know this man isn't dropping you off and picking you up while he hangs out all day and you're the only one with a job. Girl, let that man ride the bus. This is what it looks like when a man has gotten so accustomed to what you have given him that he starts to act as if he's entitled to it. What car payment did he help you pay? These are the same kind of men that don't even want to pump your gas for you, but got the nerve to want your car all day while you're working a job? No, ma'am. This is why it's so important that you make sure a man has something for himself. A man only respects what he has worked hard to earn. He won't respect your car. He won't respect your house. He won't respect your money. If he hasn't earned it, he's going to take it for granted. How was this man getting around before you and your car came along? Some men don't want you. They want access to your resources. They want to borrow your car. They want to live in the neighborhood you live in. They want to stay in your apartment rent-free. They want to borrow money from you. Sometimes it's what you can offer them. That's why discernment is so important. It's not enough that he's here. Why are you here?
I remember back in the day, a man can be on a bus and a woman would still love him. You know what I'm saying? I ride the bus and I live with my mama. You know what I'm saying? I help out with bills. You know what I'm saying? I ain't making that much. But why is it that women don't want to talk to a man that, you know what I'm saying, he's trying his best and because he don't have a car or he might still stay home with his mom? Why y'all making a big deal about that? You know what I'm saying?
But the same men cannot look at a woman they are not attracted to. The same men treat women that they don't find attractive as though they ain't, human beings. But they want women to cater to them even when they have nothing to offer, even when they are still living in their mama's basements. Men.
So because he asked, I'm going to answer his question. There are two types of men out there. There are the kind of men that actually prepare to be a boyfriend, a fiance, or a husband. These are the kind of men that are trying to get their degrees, trying to get raises and promotions, trying to get their certification, getting their diploma, getting their credit together, trying to get their own place. These are men that are trying to establish themselves so they can actually be a catch and an asset to whoever comes into their life. And there are also men who are waiting on the woman that you meet to come along and quote unquote build with. Why are you waiting on her to arrive for you to pick up your hammer and nails? You already know before she gets here you need your own place. You already know you need your own transportation. You already know you need a better job. So what exactly do you want her to come in there and do? And the thing about it is, I'm sure he's met plenty of women who will give him a chance at the bus stop, on the bus. But the thing about it is, I believe that he thinks he's too good for those women. He wants the women who don't want him. And he's trying to make those women feel guilty about it, talking about, I remember when women used to love men who didn't have anything going for themselves. Then go find those women.
How good are you at house cleaning?
Excellent.
And cooking?
Excellent. I'm a country girl. My dad had a farm. I was raised on a farm. We had chickens. We had pigs. Yeah, and I want to really get back to that again, actually. I just bought a house in August and getting chickens, goats, probably some ducks. But I love to clean.
Be willing to just stay home and not work?
I don't work.
Oh, that's
I'm
outstanding.
retired. Yeah, I don't work.
Okay.
Don't plan on going back.
Okay.
Nope.
You're going to be the provider.
I'm looking for work.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
What did you used to do?
Recyclables,
Okay.
janitorial,
Okay.
skills I picked up. I've done some time, a substantial amount of time,
Time doing what?
incarcerated.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
I just wanted you to specify.
Men and audacity. You have spent time in jail, you have a criminal record, you don't currently have a job, you basically have nothing to offer, but you want a woman who is not working. You're already in your old age. He has the audacity to ask a woman if she likes to cook and clean and be domesticated. Let me tell you, the audacity of men needs to be studied. So you don't have a job, but then you want a woman who just stays at home and cater to you. You want a woman to be submissive. Like, what exactly is she going to be submitting to? He's literally bringing no value to the relationship, but he's making her audition for him, and it's like he's interviewing her for a role. It's time to go look for a job, Mr. Man. You're on a dating show trying to leech off a woman. Go get you a job. It sounds like he's just looking for a mate. Let me tell you, if women had the same audacity as men, women would run the world. And that's why I don't understand women who are scared to ask men for stuff. Because have you seen how men are audacious when it comes to women? Men will ask for what they want from you. You know, they'll ask you for sex on the first date. Like, they won't even be ashamed. They'll state their needs to you without any shame. And there are women that are scared to ask men for money. There are women that are scared to state their standards to these men. You better borrow that audacity most of these men have.
You can't be mad that the chick that you want because of what she looks like doesn't want you. You only want her for what she looks like anyways. She doesn't have the other qualities that you're looking for. Leave her alone.
I don't know that. I want, you know, I like what I see. I want to hear and get to know her better.
But sweetheart, they're talking to the women that are saying they're not going to cook. Leave them alone.
No, well, they find out she's not going to cook after they speak to them.
Okay, and then you're like, okay, then leave her alone. That's what I'm saying. There's somebody for everybody. The chick that doesn't want to cook, leave her alone.
But how many men, other than chefs, don't want a woman who's nurturing and wants to cook for them and cater to them? How many men don't want this?
I don't know the answer to that. I would imagine that most men do want that.
Right. There are things that women want. We know what they are.
And they might not get it. They might get it, they might not. Men can say what they want, they might get it, they might not. It's the same thing.
Why can't men just leave women alone? What? Serious? Why can't men just leave women alone? The way she had to say, just leave them alone 11 times, and this man was so resistant just to the idea of leaving a woman alone who's not interested in him. Every time I've ever done a post about the 4B movement in South Korea where women are saying they don't want to deal with men anymore, without fail, I have a bunch of dudes in the comments complaining and trying to prove to us why we need them, how bad it's going to be for us if we stop dealing with them. And my question is, why? I mean, I know I'm going to actually regret this, but I actually want to know. I would love some men to come in and tell us women, why can't y'all take no for an answer? Why do you need to force yourself on people who are not interested in engaging with you? Why was that guy in the Stitch video so resistant to the idea of just moving on to another woman who actually might be interested in him and might be what he's looking for? What is it? Because whenever somebody tells me they don't fuck with me, I don't fuck with them.
I think it all comes down to wanting to conquer. They don't want the women that want them. They want the ones they deem as stubborn, you know, so that they can conquer them and say, I put her in her place. That's why they won't go for the pick-me-shas. They'll always go for the women that they deem difficult, just to get that sense of satisfaction that they conquered you. They want that feeling of conquering. They want to be in control. They want to put these women in their place.
While I'm married, I had a baby with this girl. I went home, I told my wife, listen, this happened, with the full understanding that she's gonna be like, yeah, I can't be with you no more. I'm out. She cried for 16 hours. And she said, nah, I don't want you to go nowhere. And I stayed. I couldn't be the a-hole, you know, to cheat and then bounce. Right. She would need to be the one, so I stayed. And of course, that real estate agent, you know, it hurt her. And now I got a son
From the way he makes it seem, the only reason why he stayed is because she didn't want to leave and he didn't want to be the bad guy. Didn't want to be the bad guy. Sir, you cheated on your wife and got another woman pregnant. You way past bad guy territory. You are a Disney villain. I think what bothers me the most about what he's saying and how he's saying it is he doesn't talk about how wrong it was, how sorry he was, what he had to do to make it right, how much he apologized. He doesn't say any of that. All he lets us know is that she cried for 16 hours and said, I can't let you go. He goes on to say the woman that he cheated with is the only one that has his child. He didn't even have a child with his wife. He actually says it like this. I had a baby with her, didn't even have a baby with this one. This one is how he described the wife. These men cannot wait to hop, skip, and jump their way to a podcast mic to tell some humiliating story about how they dogged a woman out and she's still there. This doesn't seem like a story of him being remorseful or sorry or anything. Please, before you take a man back who has dogged you out, humiliated, and embarrassed you publicly and or privately, understand that man may end up in front of a podcast mic and tell all of your story, every humiliating and embarrassing detail, and he will tell it with a straight face and like he's ordering lunch at a drive-thru.
The quickest I ever broke things off with a potential partner was when I realized what he meant when he said, oh, I want a perfect, loving relationship just like my parents have. And let me explain. I had been seeing this guy for like a month, and no red flags, but several times he brought up how he wanted a relationship just like his parents. He said they were the perfect partners, they were so in love, they sacrificed so much, and they went through so many trials and tribulations to be together. And I was like, oh, that's really sweet. So about a month in, he tells me, my mom wants to have you over for dinner. And I think, oh wow, I finally get to meet this amazing couple. So we show up, the dad's sitting at the kitchen table waiting, and the mom is doing all the cooking, finishing up, and I think, okay, so they have more of a traditional relationship, right? That's fine. But as the night goes on and we're getting to know each other, I learned that not only does she do everything around the house and did all of the childcare for the guy I was dating as well as all of his siblings growing up, but she was also the sole breadwinner of the home because the husband couldn't hold down a job and spent most of his time playing guitar in his garage because he was going to make it big someday. Maybe you're thinking, okay, maybe this guy is just the most like pleasant, fun, wonderful man to be around and he makes her so happy that she's just happy to do these things to be with him. This man did not say a single positive thing the entire night. I don't even think he smiled once. All he did was complain about the weather, he complained about the politics, he complained about the food that she made. But I wanted to give this guy the benefit of the doubt, right? And so on the drive back, I asked him, hey, tell me a little bit about your parents' past. Like you said they had to go through a lot of trials and tribulations and sacrifices to be together, right? In my head, I'm thinking maybe he saved her from a fire or something? I don't know. And he tells me proudly that when he was young, his dad had an issue with infidelity and cheated on his mom a bunch, and she almost left him a ton of times, but then she stuck it out and stayed together for the family because that's what love is about. I broke it off the next morning. I told him that he showed me what our future would be like together and I was just not interested in it. And he genuinely could not understand why I did not think his parents' relationship was the ultimate goal in life.
And you know, you'd think that when a man grows up seeing his mom being mistreated by his father, you think that this man wouldn't want to put his woman, his future wife, through the same. You'd think that he'd actually want to be a better man and not be like his father. But the reverse is true. In most cases, these men expect you to stick it out just like their mothers did. They deem their mothers as strong women because their mothers were able to tolerate infidelity. They were able to stay even when they were being violated, even when they were being extremely domesticated, even when they weren't being appreciated. Their moms were able to stick it out. That's why they expect you to do the same. And most of them will come on the internet and they will rant about modern women not being like their mothers and, you know, not being traditional women, because to them, that is what a woman is supposed to bear. A woman is supposed to bear all the BS a man puts her through. That is what they deem as wife material. That is what they deem as a strong woman.
I know a man who is in his mid-40s who has never had his own apartment. Whenever he wants to switch states or have new scenery or go somewhere new, what does he do? He gets on Facebook and starts speaking to one of the women in that area where he wants to go. And before you know it, he's packing his little duffel bag and on his way to this new woman's apartment. I keep telling you, ladies, you are the plan and the backup plan for these men. A lot of them never plan to live independently or take care of themselves. And that's why as soon as his mother died, if his mother even died, he was on the street. Because he never intended to ever take care of himself in his entire life. Seriously, when men get in your face, ask them how many leases they've signed in their lives. Ask them how many apartments they've stayed in that have actually had their name and their info on it. Men have always been the real gold diggers. They just dig for labor, housing, food, etc.
The audacity of men will never fail to amaze me. Why does man just come up to me asking for $2? I told him, sorry, I don't have it because I don't have cash on me, and respectfully, I am at work. So now he's looking at me in my eyes and going to say, so why doesn't everybody have money? Excuse me? You asking the wrong person. The call is coming from inside the house. Why don't you have money? You see me out work getting to the bag. Where's your bag? Or do you just prefer the bag?
To broke shame, and yet you're broke yourself. Like, that's crazy.
So today is day 2 of my 40-day raw food cleanse. Calm down. Today is day 2 of my 40-day raw food cleanse. I was feeling myself. I said, let me go to the gym. Let me go get some little work in. Man. So tell me why I get to the gym. For context, this is how I look. Okay? This is how I look. This is exactly what I was wearing, minus my shoes and my little hats. Tell me why I get to the gym and this boy, he's not Ghanaian. I don't want to mention his nationality because people know why I go to gym. This boy walks up to me. I don't even know his name. Starts making small conversation. And the next thing I hear is, oh, I think you need to work on your tummy. I looked at him and then I said, I think you need to mind your own business. And then he says, oh, it will be nicer. What Jimmy won? Are you stupid? Do you know what women go through every day in the month? You guys need to mind your business, okay? Do you know the things we carry here? Now, is this the tummy you want to complain about? This is the tummy you want to complain about. Anyway, today's leg day was a good one. Bye.
Imagine taking yourself on a solo date to get Starbucks and go to the bookstore, and then this happens.
So I recorded just in case he was trying to say anything or do anything to me. But I definitely didn't expect him to do this. Like, what?
In case you think your eyes deceive you, I assure you that they're not. This man crouches down behind this woman and, in fact, sniffs her butt. And as if that isn't enough, he wasn't done. He also goes on to do this, but thankfully she confronts him.
I noticed that he goes over and does the same thing to this girl. And he'll crouch down low and pretend like he's doing something and then smell? I don't know.
Why would a grown man go around sniffing women's butts? Like, is it some sort of a kink or what? Oh my god, this is men. Oh my god, this is crazy.
And the whole time I'm wondering why he's always around me. But this was our interaction. I was so freaked out when I turned around and saw him literally under me, so freaking close to me. So I decided to tell the front desk.
The sheer depravity of crouching down and sniffing random women's butts at a bookstore as your pastime. Like, some of y'all wonder why y'all give women the ick. Beware out there, ladies, that some of these guys, they spot you when you're alone and they keep their eye on you. So keep your eye on them too. Some men are so quick to tell a single woman that she needs a man. What would you do without men? One thing is go to a bookstore and not have a fear that some creepy random man would try to sniff them. Maybe go to a bar and not have to put some plastic cover over her drink. Maybe walk to her car alone without fear. Maybe not have to have a special bracelet that if you squeeze it, that it won't alert your family, friends, and the police to your location immediately. Like, men are so quick to talk about roads and bridges as if women don't build roads and bridges too, but can we throw in feeling safe for honorable mention? That's one thing that we could do. Yeah.
I really want men to realize that women do not owe you anything. Not a smile, not a hello, not a wave. You are not entitled to our time or our energy. While I was still in pigtails and school uniforms, I was receiving unwarranted attention from older men. That attention only continued to grow as I started to develop. And when I say older, I mean men who were old enough to be my father, old enough to be my grandfather, and I clearly looked my age. When I was freshly 25, just moved to DC, I was walking in my neighborhood. And because I didn't say hello fast enough to a gentleman who was standing on the corner, he decided to throw a beer bottle at me that just barely missed my head.
And I hate that this is actually the norm in most places. You could be walking, minding your business, and a random man is going to insult you because you've not given him attention, just because you've not stopped to talk to him, just because you've not, gone over when he called you. Why do men feel so entitled to a woman's attention? Recently, I posted a video of a man crashing out because when he was on a walk, this woman had her headset in, and she was on her phone and she didn't pay him no mind. This man was crashing out, saying, the women of these days, why are they walking with earphones? They won't even stop to say hello. You're not entitled to a woman's attention. It's not a must for her to greet you. It's not a must for her to stop and, say hello. And like, oh my God, these men, guys, men have unhinged audacity. Men have unhinged entitlement. It's crazy.
I and so many women like me learned very early on to shrink ourselves in the presence of unknown men and in the presence of men we do know. Because to draw attention to ourselves can put us in a very dangerous position. To smile or not smile at a stranger walking down the street. To give your number or not give your number to a man in a convenience store. To say yes or no to a potential date from someone on a dating app. All of these instances have led to women losing their lives. So yes, we take precautions by not making eye contact with men we do not know in our neighborhood.
I'm trying to get to know you. Take you out, son. Or you take me out. It's gonna be my birthday. You can't take me out. You don't believe in that?
This man barely gave this woman a few seconds to decide whether or not she would go out on a date with him before he immediately threw out the fact that it's about to be his birthday and why can't she take him out? Some of these men want to be wined and dined. They want the princess treatment. I truly believe there are some men out there who are jealous of women, jealous of the treatment that women get, and that's the treatment that they want. They don't want to be big, strong providers. Some of them are also looking for a big, strong provider in you. These are the same men that are always talking about what somebody brings to the table, want you to pay the bill that's on it. He used to at least come with money. Now they're not even coming with that. Like, it's bad enough you weaponize your incompetence. It's bad enough that you're not emotionally mature. But now you don't even have the money? They're offering less and less, but wanting more and more from the women. As soon as she says no, he's going to immediately jump to all the red pill talking points. He's going to say that's the problem with modern day women. You guys only want a man for their money. Sir, the only person trying to get a free meal right now is you.
They don't want to cook or clean. Sometimes you'll meet a woman that'll say, I don't mind doing any cooking or cleaning. And while she's cleaning for you, you know what she's cleaning up? She's looking at you. I mean, you should be doing equal amounts of this work too. She's keeping score. And so this is a violation of the social contract because they're entitled to your meat, which you can measure.
Did he just say they are entitled to your meat? Like, did I hear that right? Oh my God.
Then she tries to couple this with equal partnership. You're literally giving up tangible resources to her. If you actually measured what you give back to her, I can almost guarantee you it's a 90-10 relationship. You give the most, she gives back very little.
There has been, and there always will be, men out there who try to devalue and discredit a woman's contribution. These same men that say they want a woman to cook and clean and raise the children don't value cooking, cleaning, and raising the children. They still feel like none of that is equivalent to them bringing home their paycheck. Because if that isn't the case, then why don't they want a woman who doesn't cook and clean? Who doesn't want to stay home with the kids? That's exactly what they want, but they want you to feel like it's not a big deal. If it wasn't a big deal, then why don't they do it? No, when given the opportunity to switch roles, when they're being asked, hey, I'll actually make the money and you stay home with the kids, this is how they respond.
So, like, I really do need you to stay at home because women are taking all your jobs. Like, y'all are so fearful we're taking all your jobs. So you might as well just stay at home and let us take over. And yes, I will birth your 4, 5, 7, 8 children while that's going on. But I got this. Like, I don't know why you complaining. That's a good deal. You don't have to do nothing but cook. That's all I ask for you to do is cook, watch the kids. Oh, and clean.
That don't make no sense because I'm not no slave, so why would we cooking and cleaning?
So what he's trying to mean is that the women are slaves because apparently it's women who cook and clean, so we are slaves. But then they will still ask, what do we bring to the table? They will still say we don't contribute anything in a relationship, we don't contribute anything in a marriage. Yet if they are asked to switch roles and stay at home and cook and clean, they don't want to because apparently that makes them slaves. Like, make it make sense.
How are you not no slave? Women do this all the time.
But I'm not no slave, so I'm not cooking and cleaning for you.
Oh, you heard that, man. I'm not no slave. Why would I cook, clean, and help with the kids? Oh, it's a slave, is it? Unpaid labor, you say? That's what we're talking about. Some of these men, they have a vested interest in trying to get you to feel like you don't really bring much to the table if that's all that you bring, knowing good and well that's a lot. They would never pay for somebody to come and clean their house or pay for a chef or a nanny or a tutor or any of those things. They don't want to pay for those services. They want you to render those services to them for free or in exchange for a ring. But they want to make you feel like it's still not equal to what they do. I bring home the paycheck, so I shouldn't have to lift a finger. I bring home a paycheck, so I shouldn't have to load the dishwasher. I bring home a paycheck, so I shouldn't have to help little Johnny with his homework. They know it's a lot of work, but they want to convince you that it's not. They don't have to actually compensate you fully for it. They don't have to appreciate you for it. They want to convince you that it's not a big deal, but they would never switch roles with you. These same men say they want a traditional woman. What exactly do you think a traditional woman is? What they really want is a woman that's dependent on them financially, where you feel stuck with him, like you can't afford to leave him. It's mostly women that file for divorce. And one of the main reasons is because they get tired of doing everything on their own. Because they get with these men that think because they bring home a paycheck, that they don't have to do anything else for anyone else. Make sure that you are partnering with someone who values cooking, values cleaning, values laundry being done, values somebody who takes care of the kids. If the man doesn't value those things as a boyfriend, he won't value those things as a husband. Don't set yourself up for a divorce. When you're talking to a man, you're just in the dating stage. Ask the man, what do you think about these things? Would you help? What if you work and I don't? Ask these questions. Don't get all the way down to the altar. Don't get all the way down to your Mrs. So-and-so to find out this man doesn't appreciate what you would bring to the table. Because whether I have a job or not, that doesn't take away from the fact that we're both creating dirty laundry. We're both creating dirty dishes. Make sure this man appreciates everything that you bring to the table. And he doesn't think that he's better than you because he brings home a check and you don't. Because whether labor is unpaid doesn't make it any less labor. It's still work. Whether you get paid for it or not, the time and energy it takes to raise a child and to cook and to clean and maintain a household, that is still labor. When you're dating men early on in the dating stage, find out how he feels about that labor and the distribution of it. Because why get the man all the way down to the altar, marry the man, and then find out that he will never appreciate what you bring to the table? There's no reason to even get that far with a man like that.
And I read somewhere that men don't change. What a man shows you while you guys are still dating, that is the real him. Don't think that when you get married, he's going to become better. If that man is not helping out around the house when you guys are still dating, don't think that after you guys get married, it's just going to click in his head that, oh, you know what? My wife actually needs some help around the house. Not going to happen. The same man you have while you're dating is the same man you're going to get when you guys get married. And sometimes it even becomes worse in marriage because he knows that he has you trapped down and you're not going anywhere. Ladies, like she said, before you marry a man, first make sure you find out how he feels about all these things. If he's asking you what you bring to the table and you guys are still dating, run for your life.
These men, if one thing they all have is the audacity. They don't have no money, they don't have no hang time, and they definitely don't have no stamina. And the first thing a lot of you men got to say is, that's why you single. You don't have no man, that's why you not married, blah, blah, blah. What benefit is it? You don't have no money. The ones that do make a decent amount, you can't manage your money. You run through it like water. You have no hang time. I don't know what's going on, y'all, but I'm done. Those of you ladies that still want to be out here in the dating scene, good luck. Have at it. I'm done. You know, my last little relationship, situationship, yeah, I'm cool. That man waited 5 years to have me just to waste my motherfucking time. Okay, I can't do it. Between the erectile dysfunction, the lack of funds, and just the no stamina, I can't do it.
Okay, I just left the party because the disrespect that you get from men as a woman in the US, it's unbelievable. I'm done. I am done. I think I'm gonna stay single till the rest of my life, not because I'm not attractive, but because of my values and the way I was raised by my parents. It is so much stronger than my sexual desires. The audacity to be so touchy and so like trying to kiss me the moment you just met me. Are you a man or an animal? And you know what's the problem? The problem is not these men. The problem is women that allow these men treat them this way. How do these beautiful young girls casually go out and sleep with different men? Like, how do you do that shit? No, seriously, girl, are you out of your mind? How do you get fucked up to the point that you cannot go back home? How do you look at yourself in a mirror the next morning? Before you ask for certain treatment towards yourself, think about how you act.
Everyone has been asking me, like, how's dating in New York going? How's meeting people in New York, meeting people out? I'm so glad you asked. So I went to a bar in the West Village on Saturday, and this guy comes up to me and he says, I know this is bold, but I just had to tell you, I saw you when you walked in, and I turned to my friends and said, that's the girl I'm gonna marry. And I was like, oh my God, great. Then we're chatting. And then the conversation kind of like peters off. He's like, well, I really want to keep talking to you. I really want to see you again. I'm like, perfect. He's like, can I get your number? I'm like, yeah. And he's like, what's it going to take for me to see you again? And I was like, I don't know, like, ask me on a date. And he just walks by. So I'm like, oh, word, got it. Awesome. And he comes back like 5 minutes later and he says, I'm just going to be honest with you. I'm never gonna take you on a date. It's not really my thing. I'm just way too young for that. And I was like, geez, how old are you? 28.
So he's way too young to take a woman out on a date, but he's not too young to get involved with women. He's not too young to pursue a relationship. Okay.
28. So that's how it's going.
Capacity of a grown man who can't even afford to pay all the bills gonna ask you to do extra on top of your own job. Cook, clean, do laundry on top of your own job. They're gonna get all messed up clothes, burnt food, and they will never ask you to do any of those things ever again. Just mess it all up, and then he'll just continue to do it on his own as he did before he met you. Okay?
My problem with you is that you keep thinking that I am into you when I'm not. And then I make myself clear, and then you get upset with me when I make myself clear. You're like, you could have been nicer when I was nice, and that didn't work.
Yeah, I know. You were not nice. When you brought the second time, you were not.
Second time?
No, because I had already brought it up the first time.
Some men will only consider you being nice if you give them a chance when you initially didn't want to. This reminds me of a video that I posted about 1.5 years ago of this woman who was in a bar just enjoying herself having a drink, and this man wouldn't leave her alone because he kept telling her that she needed to be nice. And she was like, no, I don't need to be anything. I don't know you and I don't owe you. It absolutely makes my teeth itch that so many men out here think somebody owes it to them to be nice, especially when 9 times out of 10 they're only nice to women that they're interested in. They'll let a door slam right in your face if they don't find you attractive or if they're not interested. But you're supposed to be nice to them even if you don't find them attractive, even if you don't want them, even if you're married, even if you have a boyfriend. He just said you were nice the first time. He admitted that that was true, but he was like, the second time. Why did it take a second time? And then if she was too nice about how she let you down the first time, then the problem would have been that why are you sending mixed messages? If you didn't want me, why didn't you make yourself clear? What they really want is for you to help them heal their bruised ego. You gotta say it in a way that makes them feel like, you know what? Maybe it's not me. She just wasn't ready. Maybe it's not me. She just not in the place right now to date anyone. Like, no. Sometimes it is you.
We have an update to this post that I did about a week ago. She asked the question, would I be the a-hole if I divorced my husband just for asking to be polyamorous? They've been married for just over a year and together for 4, and he's already asking to open up the marriage. And you know, I honestly didn't know and understand that there's a difference between polyamorous and open. But what she is describing is definitely an open marriage. And she has said no. But she says, out of the blue, he sat down one night and said he wanted to talk about something. I thought it was just something minor he was frustrated about, or a bad day at work or something. Instead, he talked about how he found out his best guy friend and his wife are polyamorous. He and his best friend have been talking about it more, and he thinks he might like to try it and wondered what I thought.
What? Oh my God, guys. You see why most women are scared of marriage. You see why most women choose to stay single? This is why. Like, you could get married to a man thinking he's a good man, and just when you guys are married, not even 3 years in, a year in, he's already asking to open up the marriage. Like, the audacity. And I won't be surprised if he's already sleeping around. Like, I honestly won't be surprised. That is why the rates of HIV are actually high in married couples. Most women actually get infected with HIV when they are married. You could get married to a man and you're clean, you're fine, but that man, you don't know what he's doing behind your back. He's going out there sleeping around and you don't even know about it. Before you know it, you're infected. He has brought all sorts of diseases for you. Ladies, take note. These men...
I felt instantly sick to my stomach. I'm not doing this whole post, just pieces. She says, if it had stopped there, I don't think it would have gotten so bad. But then he asked if I would read about it and then decide. I said, no, I already know how I feel about it. He asked if I would at least think about it. And for some reason, that just did something to me. Like he could not accept her no. She started sleeping in the guest room, and then she brought up the fact that she's going to start looking for divorce lawyers. All right, let's fast forward. She says, this is the update. All right, here we go. She says, a lot of people wanted an update and I've made some difficult decisions. For background, here's my initial post. I took some advice from the thread and got an STI panel done. Fortunately, it came back clear. I suggested counseling, but my husband does not think it's necessary. I doubt it would change my feelings, so I'm not going to push for it. He's being overly protective of his phone after I asked to see a message conversation between him and his poly friend to understand the context of the situation. I would not violate his privacy, but there's clearly something he doesn't want me to see, and that's enough. It doesn't matter to me anymore whether there is something already in progress or just the desire for there to be. The shadiness of his behavior tells me what I need to know. I've been tempted to contact his friends directly to get their take, but in the event there is infidelity happening, I would rather not burden myself with the details, to be honest. I had a heart-to-heart with my grandparents this weekend and spoke with a lawyer yesterday. As of right now, I'm planning to move forward with the divorce, with no kids and no joint property or debt, since we are waiting to buy a house till I'm finished with residency. It should be easy to split the financials. The lease on our apartment is up in a couple of months anyway, so I plan to move out after breaking the news, maybe she means breaking the lease, and just pay my portion of the rent on the current place until it's renewal time. There you go. I'm heartbroken, but I'm convinced that this is the best move. I don't trust him anymore. I'm repulsed by his behavior since the ask. And I think it's best to cut our losses before digging the hole deeper. If he was willing to be transparent and do something to work on reestablishing trust, it would be different. But that's not the case, and I don't want to put in effort that he's not interested in putting in. I will be fine with time. So yeah, not a happy ending, but I think it's in my best overall interest. If he's not happy with monogamy a year into marriage, his best interest as well. Hopefully we can part ways quietly and without a lot of fuss.
Things I'm learning about men through my male friends, part 1. Men have no concept of a league. Like, according to them, every woman, no matter how attractive and successful and rich and well-educated she is, they genuinely, in their brain, think that they have a shot with her. Like, when my girlfriends and I look at good-looking men, we're still rooted in reality. Like, we wouldn't really approach a guy that we think is so much better than us because there's just no need. Like, we understand leagues. But my guy friends, the kind of women that they set their eyes on, like, I've looked at them and I've asked, this is a woman that you're going after? Like, you genuinely think you guys have a shot? And they're like, yeah, why not? The audacity shocks me, you guys. Number 2, men can be just as delusional as women. It's just in different aspects. For me and my girlfriends, if a guy texts us like once a month, the way our brain works is, oh, he's so in love with me. But for men, whatever a woman does, the way their brain works is, oh, she wants to sleep with me. Recently, one of my guy friends actually told me this girl wanted to take him home. Like, this woman is literally ghosting him, and he's telling me with full confidence that she wants him bad. Number 3, nothing that a nice guy does is for you. It's for themselves and themselves only. It is for their own validation. It is only for them to be seen as the different guy. These ones just happen to be socially aware and very well packaged. So the rule that I follow now is that no matter how nice a guy is to me as a friend, I don't give a shit. I'm only gonna judge a man based on how well he treats his girlfriends and his wife. That's all I give a shit about, because these men are so good at acting like they're hidden gems. They just know how to put on a good facade.
You know, sometimes my friends ask me, Lisa, what gives you that confidence, like that much confidence to even talk about things and stuff? And I always tell them it's the audacity. You know, that kind of audacity that men have, you must learn to borrow some. Get men's audacity, and trust me, you're going to go so far in this world. You know, most of us women, you're easily intimidated. You enter a room and you automatically feel like you don't belong. You act like you don't belong. You know why men are able to navigate through this world, be unapologetically themselves, and take over positions even when they are not that qualified? It's because they have audacity. That's the kind of audacity you must have as a woman. Don't get intimidated by these men. Have audacity.
So you're telling me that you see me on the road walking while you're driving, then you like me, you now press your horn, pam pam, and as reflex, because it is a horn, right? I look back or I look sideways and I see you in the car, and then you wave, and then you know, to me, you, wow. So I should walk over to your car, or cross over to your car, or walk back to your car to hear what you have to say to me. Like, make it make sense. You're the one who wants to say something to me. If what you want to say is that important, then you are supposed to find a way to get to me. But it's the audacity some of you men have for me that you will see a lady walking, you don't even know the reason why she's walking, you don't even know if I have a car, you don't even know if I'm in the right mood to talk to someone, you don't know if, you know, I have an emergency that I'm trying to head toward, and then you horn your car for me, and then you signal for me to cross over or walk over to you. Is it madness? You mental. The audacity you must have is crazy. I mean, the day God was sharing audacity to everyone, I'm sure you waited twice to collect it 2 times, and I'm not even sure it's twice, for you to signal to a lady to come over to you. As per what you have to say is way more important. If you don't find a way to get to where I am right now, then what you want to say is not Kokai Lara. It's not important to you. To be honest, I don't really blame a lot of these men, because some ladies have been doing it. Once you see a guy that has a car and is signaling for you to cross.
Real, if we are being honest, I also find this so annoying. Like, you could be walking and a man is going to horn his car at you and he expects you to go over. It is you that wants to talk to me. If you don't get out of that car like a gentleman and come to me and approach me, talk to me, like, why should I be the one to come over so that you can tell me what you want? Keyword, what you want to say to me. Like, it really doesn't make sense.
Cross over to him, you lose all your dignity and self-respect, and you rush there because what? He's a Pablo looking guy. He's a rich sugar daddy. Or perhaps a fine boy that has money. So what? So what? So I'll cross over to meet the guy for him to say what he wants to say to me. Isn't that crazy? I mean, as a man, if what you really want to say is that important, then you drive over to the side where the girl is. If she has walked past you, you reverse back. Against all odds, don't care about the cars coming. What you want to do is more important. And if the girl is across the road, then turn around. Turn back. How many fuel are you wasting? It's not even wastage, because you're trying to talk to the girl that you don't even know if she's going to be the love of your life. It is worth it at the end of the day. But you signaling for me to cross over or walk back or walk forward to your car. You even saw me, you drove past me, you now stopped at the front, so me I'll walk or run to meet you. You ladies, have dignity, have pride. Stop walking over to meet a man in his car. What he wants to say to you is that important. He will drive over to you. He will drop from his car and cross over to you. At least you'd have already seen the car and you would know that he dropped from a very fine car. Why should I walk down to you for you to talk to me and collect my number? Are you mental?
Out on a date with a 49-year-old man, and 3 days later he called me to let me know he doesn't want anything serious, but would I be open to something casual? If I wanted an F-buddy, why on earth would I pick a 49-year-old man? No one wants you for casual, honey. If I wanted a casual little F-buddy, I'd get like a 28-year-old. It's insulting to even ask. I wanted you for that career, that long career. Aren't you gonna retire soon? I want you for your senior citizen discount. The absolute audacity of these old men. He is almost 50. On the date, he tells me that he's meeting with a spiritual advisor to help him figure out what he wants out of life. I'm looking at him thinking, you have 10 good years left. What do you mean? He's trying to figure out whether or not he wants to get married and have kids. It reminds me of that viral noise. Do you know you have 30 minutes? 30 minutes. Absolutely wild that an almost 50-year-old man needs help figuring out what he wants out of life. And at this point, just commit to the bit. Just be single. Be a bachelor forever. You've taken it this far. Jesus. He's 15 years older than me. Is he getting women my age that are like, yeah, this will be my F-buddy? These women have mental problems. Isn't the point of an F-buddy like getting like some young hot thing? Not some old guy who probably needs to take pills?
Did y'all see the video in which the young lady basically was taking herself out on a date and she kept running into men who reacted very negatively when she said she was single and not looking? These men were blowing a gasket because this young lady said, I like being single. I like my own company. Well, what are you gonna do without a man? You're gonna die alone. Why would you choose to be single? Why would you do that?
They are always triggered by single women who are fine with being single. Like, they just can't believe that a woman can be single and happy. They just can't believe it, because when it comes to them, it's impossible. They can't be single and happy. So they think women can't also be single and happy.
My baby daddy invited me to his wedding, and I went to the wedding website, and it said that their love story, that they met at work, but due to life circumstances, they couldn't be together at that time, so it took a little while. But guess what those life circumstances were? And his baby.
This man just reduced his live-in girlfriend and the child they had together as life circumstances. If a man has anything, it's always going to be audacity. I think it's funny how some men will attempt to rewrite history in an effort to make the woman that they cheated on you with feel less guilty about cheating with them. This is their attempt to clean it up. There were so many obstacles standing in our way, and the main obstacle is like, I'm married. Or I'm living with another woman. And it's like, since when are these obstacles standing in your way? They may have slowed you down, but they definitely didn't stop you. I said it before, but I'll say it again. A man will always put himself first. He doesn't care if he lives with you and y'all just had a baby. She's the love of his life. I don't care if he also told you that you were the love of his life. This is how he feels today. With couples like this, the math is never mathing, because they want to say we've been together for 3 years. Meanwhile, he only asked for a divorce a year ago and was granted that divorce 2 months ago. So it's like, how are we together for 3 years? Life circumstances wraps it all up in a cute little bow. Now, she doesn't have to feel like the mistress who knew that man was in a relationship and let him pursue her anyway, and he doesn't have to feel like the cheater that he is.
Story time. Title: The audacity of men never ceases to amaze me. I've been doing this for a while now, but I am still surprised every day by the comments that men leave on my videos. So some guy, devil's advocate guy, you know the guys, comments on one of my videos earlier saying that he is surprised and disappointed how little feminists talk about the draft. So men being drafted against their will and without consent into war. And I reminded him that this is a feminist TikTok account. I am a feminist activist and we talk about women's issues here. And he was, of course, mortally offended by that. He said that it just proved that feminism is not about equality, that it is all about women. So I'm going to start here by saying that I don't know a single man who has been drafted. I don't know a single man that has happened to. That's my privilege in part. I live in a country where that does not happen. I understand that it does happen elsewhere. I know that there were men who were drafted in Ukraine. I know also that there are 50,000 women fighting on the front line in Ukraine. But I don't know a single man who has been drafted, and nobody I know knows a man who has been drafted. Not a single person. But I cannot count how many women I know who have been affected by the patriarchy. Literally.
They always try to find a way to bring the attention back to them. Like, you could come on here and talk about women that have been violated by men, women that have been essayed by men, and there will be men in the comment section saying, not all men, it's not all men. Like, we know it's not all men, but in this moment, we are discussing about the men that are actually doing these things. By you coming and saying it's not all men, you're just diverting people from the fact that they are men that are actually doing this, because now you're leading with that it's not all men. Like, we understand it's not all men, but they are men that are actually doing these things. That's why we have to talk about them. Like, they always find a way of diverting the attention back to them.
Every single one. And that's why I have a feminist TikTok account to discuss these issues. So obviously I thought, well, this guy cares deeply about the draft and about men's issues, so I will visit his profile, and I am sure that there are countless videos on there about the draft and about men's issues. I'm sure that he's campaigning. I'm sure that he is active. I'm sure there's information on there about how I can help and make things better. No, not a single one. His activism for men begins and ends with commenting on feminist TikTok videos and demanding that they immediately start discussing men's issues, or else they are not proper feminist activists and they cannot say that they are striving for equality. I, on the other hand, have discussed men's issues. I have talked about their alarming unaliving rates. I have promoted them getting therapy and forming more compassionate friendships so that they have a proper support network. I have discussed men's issues at length on this account. And I can't properly articulate the perfect poetry of it because I don't have the vocabulary, but I'm going to try. You create a feminist space to talk specifically about women and women's issues. And one of those issues is the immense amount of physical, emotional, and mental labour that men and the patriarchy expect you to burden on the basis that you are a woman. And then some man who isn't even a campaigner or activist himself comes into that space to tell you that you cannot be a feminist unless you are fighting for equality, that your equality must include men and men's issues. And he demands that you immediately redirect the conversation away from women and their issues and onto men and theirs. You can't see this now, sir, because you are blocked, but thank you. Thank you for proving why I am needed. Thank you for proving why women like me need to speak up and tell women's stories. Thank you.
There is no one more audacious than a man that knows he can have you whenever he wants to. When that man knows that all he has to do is dangle the carrot of marriage in front of you, dangle the carrot of a happy family in front of you, and whatever he's done wrong, all is forgiven, that man will continue to play in your face. That man will continue to give you the bare minimum and expect you to accept it every single time. That man has shown you in every way imaginable that he's not interested. So why would you let his words tell you otherwise? That man is already on his millionth second chance, but you know good and well you're willing to give him another one because the idea of him is what you're truly in love with. The version of him that he showed you in the beginning. The thing about it is that version was fake. That man was good to you with the first 6 weeks of the relationship and has been a devil the last 6 months or 6 years of the relationship, but you're trying to get back that little window of time where he was amazing to you. When will you realize that that was the version of him that was fake? The one that you have right now, that's the real him. Waiting for a man to get back to the person that he showed you in the beginning is how women waste months, years, decades of their life. If you think to yourself, if he never gets back to the version of him that I saw in the beginning, would I be okay with that? If your answer is no, cut him loose.
I found the source of men's audacity. It's from their mothers. As a mom to 3 boys, I can honestly say that moms love their boys unconditionally. But the same cannot be said of daughters and their mothers. Caveat. This may be more true in Asia, but certainly it's a noticeable trend. Moms of boys treat their boys only with encouragement, rarely criticizing them. Daughters have been criticized and shamed from the moment they're born. Close your legs. 食咁多嘢，食嘢做乜咁核突㗎？你咁粗魯，邊個要你啊？ Go back and watch my lesson 10. The reason why moms are so unkind to their daughters is because they see daughters as extensions of themselves. And they're not kind to themselves. And when they've been critiqued all their lives growing up, it is only natural to perpetuate it. Father wound versus a mother wound impacts kids completely differently. Father wound makes you want to succeed in life to prove to your dad that you're worthwhile of love. A mother wound is so much more sinister. It makes you believe that no matter what you do in life, you're not worthy of love. That is the fundamental difference in audacity. Audacity is daring to ask. It comes from a sense of worthiness. And men often unmatched with the reality of who they are, they fundamentally believe they're worthy of love because their mothers love them unconditionally. Moms of daughters, please just love them unconditionally. They don't have to be perfect. They don't have to be great. They just need to know that they're worthy of love, and that is enough for them to tackle the world.
I just saw a TikTok of a woman who said that she caught her husband cheating, but they'd had the perfect relationship. There were never any red flags. Although there had been an incident like the year before, but it wasn't infidelity. He's just dumb because he's a man. Men are not dumb. Men are not stupid. you're being manipulated.
Videos like that are why older women on this app get aggressively protective over younger women who justify the men in their lives' misdeeds, and why I myself am incredibly hostile towards men who attempt to come into my life without good specific intentions for me, who attempt to come into my life casually, who attempt to come into my life with inconsistency, who attempt to come into my life with disregard for my feelings. It is because poor treatment is an intentional choice. Men are fully aware of how they are treating you. It isn't by accident. Once you internalize that men aren't dumb, you realize that in almost every instance of discontentment you've experienced, it wasn't you being bumped into, it was you being pushed. It makes sense to not be mad if someone bumps into you, but if being pushed, you should be offended, babe. If a man doesn't want to be romantic, doesn't want to take you on dates, is stringing you along, being inconsistent, doesn't acknowledge your feelings or needs, anything, etc., etc., it isn't because he didn't hear you the first time. It isn't because he doesn't know. You think men don't know they're supposed to take you on a date? No, they just reserve that for women they actually deem worthy of that. Meaning, if he isn't doing those things, he is saying to you, you aren't worthy of that. It means he saw you and decided that was how he was going to treat you. He saw you and decided you weren't worth seriously pursuing. You weren't worth honesty. You weren't worth having your feelings respected or accommodated. And when I get that information from a man, when a man says that to me through his actions, that's an insult. Why would I react to that with anything but silence or hostility? Please start understanding that a lot of behavior, especially within dating that society has normalized, therefore people just brush it off, is people's confession of how they see you, a reflection of what category they've put you in. People are playing in your face because they think you're too stupid to catch it, or are too weak to do anything about it. And I would heavily advise you to not let that be the case.
I'd rather make 50K and my wife make 50K before I go and make 250 by myself and be the only income. Both.
I'd rather make $50,000 a year and my wife makes $50,000 a year than me make $250,000 a year and my wife be a stay-at-home wife or stay-at-home mom. Is this the logic that men are having these days just in the dating pool? Because if it is, then I need to say this to the women out there. I'm sorry. I apologize. Cause I'll be honest, I ain't red pill, but I blame women. I used to blame women for men and women not being in relationships and getting married. But with that kind of logic and idiocracy and lack of financial literacy, you know what? Women, you're better off staying single.
So guys, we've come to the end of this video, but I would love to hear your thoughts on this topic. Tell me what you think about it, and yeah, let's discuss further in the comment section below. Don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe if you haven't already. Hit the notification bell so you get notified each and every time I drop a video. Till next time, I remain Lisa. Peace and love. I love you. Bye.